Your godparents' responsibility, it is not to give you money. Your godparents are not your wedding planners. Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Teacher Stephanie. This week is just gonna be English. Désolée, cette semaine ça sera beaucoup l'anglais. Je veux vraiment parler à mon audience anglophone avant de rentrer en lingala et en français. I want to reach out to my English audience before I go back to the lingala and French people. So I'm going to continue. Before I go any further, please like the video. Just hit the like button. Don't just watch me, like me too. Comment, share the video with someone who's going to need it, because I only share good information to help other people the way I was helped as well. So before going any further, I just want to thank you guys for your support and everything that you're doing for my channel. Thank you for sharing the information. I got some questions, some feedback from the previous video, and I really loved it. And I want to touch base on those points. Some people were asking me, teacher, why aren't you putting makeup? Why aren't you? Guys, look at my skin. Do I need makeup? Makeup is too much for me, please. I'm not that content creator who'll be putting makeup for you. What's important is the information I'm giving. Focus on the information. You know, I have oily skin, so I cannot be putting makeup all the time because I'm going to be sweating. So I just don't want to feel uncomfortable. You notice most of the time I do this on my face, so I do not want to do that on makeup. So I will keep my skin like this because it's good. I'm going to continue with the series of the godparenting topic, and today I'm going to talk about the responsibilities. I'm going to touch a bit about your responsibility and their responsibility. The previous video was about why we need them, and a lot of you guys, texted me, reached out to me that, oh, I'm getting married, I didn't know, about this godparent thing, or now I have more clarity. I'm glad that that video was able to help you. I'm not an expert, but the knowledge that God has given me, I will definitely share with you, because I believe I'm called for this, and I don't force these things. It flows in me, and I will just do what God has called me to do. So if you feel like you know better, if you feel like you can say better, YouTube is very open to everybody to starting their own channel and share information. So feel free to do so, but don't talk down about what the other people are doing because you feel like you know better, you know more. Please don't do that. Watch the video until the end so you know their responsibilities. So it is important to understand the roles that your godparents play in your life, so you do not mistake them with your wedding planner for your wedding planners, or you do not expect them to do things that they're not supposed to do, or you do not get upset when they do not do certain things. So when you get godparents, or you agree to have godparents for your couple, you've got to understand their responsibilities, so you do not hold grudges against them. Oh, they didn't do this for me. Oh, they were not this involved. Or they did. No. From this video, you will understand what is their role. And when you see them in your life, when you have them in your life, you will know what to expect from them. And I'm also going to give you your role, because this is your wedding after all. It's not theirs. So watch until the end. So one of the number one responsibility of the godparent is to pray for you and to pray with you. It's a responsibility. It's not just we don't have time or we don't know how to do this. That's why you need to find out some qualities that you need in them. I'm going to talk about that in the last part 3. One of the qualities to look for in godparents, they must be people that pray. People who love the Lord, not people who go to church. People who go to church, not everybody is a Christian or is prayerful. So you have to make sure that one of the top qualities you look for in them, it's not that they must have money. I'm going to talk about that too, because most people think when you have godparents, they're supposed to sponsor your wedding, buy all these things. No, they are there for your walk, the success of your marriage, not your wedding day. A wedding day is a 1-day ceremony, and it will go, it's going to pass. But your marriage is what will last forever, and you should be focusing on that. So one of their responsibility is to pray for you and with you. When they pray for you, they pray for your life, for everything in your marriage, your children, your future. When they pray with you, they do the same. When they pray with you, they are with you. Whether they are far, Whether they're in person, they can always pray for you and with you. So that's why you need to find people who have a spiritual authority that you can submit to and you can go to for prayer. Because marriage is so challenging sometimes that there are certain things you cannot judge them with your physical eyes or just with your emotions. You need to look in the spirit. In Christian counseling, something we were taught is that every area or every situation that happens in your life shouldn't be judged with your physical eyes, with your emotion, with your sentiment. It should be also looked into the spiritual way, open your spiritual eyes, understand it in a different level. That will help you also know how to pray and how to judge the problem. So godparent must be able to pray for you and with you. Marriage will require a lot of prayer because it's one of the institutions that God has established and that the devil hates so much, because he knows once you guys, the devil rather have you live in fornication, sleeping around with different women, different men. But once you decide to be faithful and stay with one wife, one husband, he hates that. He will come and fight you in any way so you can separate. So when you understand that there's a spiritual battle here, you need godparents who are going to be strong in prayer to hold you. So do not even play with that. Make sure you're choosing people who can pray for you. When they are praying, you feel like this is prayer. There is praying and praying. So you gotta make sure you choose the right people. So that's number one responsibility. And when they are praying for you, they will pray for your marriage. The main focus is your marriage because you have not built a family yet. They'll pray for your marriage. They'll pray for the process. I'm telling you guys, marriage is the Satan or the enemy's like most hated thing that God has created as well. Just because he gave you a ring during your engagement, the devil is not going to cross his arm and be like, go ahead, get married. Go ahead, have a peaceful home. No, it's going to rise. It's going to fight you. Some divorce that we are seeing, some fight in couples that we are seeing, it's not just physical. It's also spiritual. But if you have godparents who can help you detect that this battle is in the spirit, it's very, what can I say? It helps you, like, it's relieving, because you know that you have people who understand things in a different way. So they're going to mainly pray for your marriage, especially when you are engaged. You need people who want to support you throughout until you make it into your marital house. And when you make it inside here, it's not over. The battle starts again, because the higher the level you go, the higher the battle you're going to face. So when you were engaged, there were battles that you were facing as an engaged lady. When you are married, now there is more battles that you're facing. And now you're going to become a mother. Now there's more battles. So it never ends. So you need that support beside you. The second responsibility that a godparent have, okay, is to tell you the truth. They have no filter. They should not even have a filter, because they're supposed to tell you things like this right in your face. Things that other people cannot tell you, things that your parent cannot tell you. Like, if you messed up, you messed up. If you're wrong, you're wrong. They will tell you right there, because they want you to be accountable and fix your behavior. They're not there to judge you. They're not there to make you feel weak or dumb or something. No, they are there to guide you because you chose them. When you chose them, you saw a certain maturity in them. You saw a certain character in them that you really liked, and you're like, I want to look up to these people. So one of their responsibility is to tell you the truth. And also, one of the hardest truths that you can hear from a godparent is to tell you that I'm sorry, we are not able to be your godparents. That can happen. You can go to people and you tell them that we choose you guys as our godparent, and they will tell you, the good people will tell you, give us time to pray and we'll get back to you. They will not just say, oh wow, thank you, that's good. No, right away it's a red flag. It's like they were dying for it. But people who really pray, they're spiritual, they take that serious. They will tell you, give us time to pray, we'll get back to you. And if they go pray and they come back to you and say that, we prayed about this and then God told us, not to move forward with this, please don't make it a problem. Please do not hate them, because they are not following their emotions, feelings, but they are also following the voice of God. They're also looking at the level of readiness. If they're not ready for this, just because people are loving, they're in love, you see them happy, they're not suitable to be your godparents. They must be ready in their couple and agree, wife and husband, to mentor you, because it's not just they're gonna stand there on the wedding day looking good that we are their godparent. After that, they have a responsibility to be with you, to mentor you, to equip you, to guide you. That's a lot. And if they're not ready for it, they come to you and they tell you you're upset, you don't want to talk to them anymore, you hate them, then you don't understand what you're doing. You need to respect their decision because they are there to tell you the truth. You rather have godparents to tell you the truth that we're not ready for this or God told us not to, instead of having people who are going to walk with you down the aisle and then later on never show up again in your life. Don't even call you, don't even visit you. So you got to be open to accept that if they say no, it's a no. Okay, they will be telling you the truth. And if you have a godparent who always tells you you're right, please, that's a red flag. Make sure those are people who can tell you that you are wrong, and deep down you know you are wrong. People who can just tell you the truth that that you don't want to hear. Yes, those are the people we need. Do not look for godparent who will tell you the truth that you want to hear. No, the one that you hate hearing, that you are fighting, that's what you need to hear. So that's number two. People are going to tell you the truth. Another responsibility of godparent is to be able to bring you moral and emotional support. Like I said, marriage can be difficult and challenging sometimes. You need someone who's going to support you mentally and emotionally, especially for men. Listen, you guys are not robots. You guys are, as African men, I know it's difficult for you to express your emotions, your feelings. But if you have a godfather whom you look up to, whom you trust, you can vent to him. You can tell him how you feel. You can tell him things. Those are people that you trust and you can go to. You're not going to go to your friends. You're not going to go to your mom or your dad. You have godparent for it. Those people are there to support us emotionally and mentally, because sometimes marriage can be draining, especially for us women as well. When you have a baby, then there's so much going on. Maybe your mom is not in the country, you don't have family. Your godmother can be that support for you, your emotional support. Sometimes you're going through so much, you're looking for someone to vent to. You probably don't have friends that you probably trust, or most of your friends are single, they're not married yet, they cannot relate to marital issues. Your godmama is there, so you can go talk to her. She will support you emotionally. I'm going to go back to point one. If she prays, she's going to pray with you, for you, so that you feel better. Because the Bible says, cast unto me all your worries because I care. When you go to a godmother who's filled with the word of God, the spirit of God, she will not just tell you, it's okay, you know what, you'll be fine. She will counsel you with the word of God, bring you back on track, and then support your emotions, support you emotionally. So they will be there for you. If you have godparents who don't support you emotionally, mentally, they're too busy for you, it's a red flag. And it's always okay to cut ties with people when you feel like they're not being there for you. Because what's the point of giving you such a huge title and you don't act on it? So, third point, it's their responsibility. Okay, their responsibility to support you emotionally and mentally. Another responsibility of godparent is to always have an agenda of what they're going to discuss with you every time you meet and talk. We can't just call our mentees on the phone and just check, just say, hi, how are you? How's your day? Yeah, we can do that just to check on them. But especially when we're preparing them for marriage, what they engaged, there are things that we always talk about, things like submission, things like how to be clean in the house, hygiene, how to treat your husband, how to respect them, how to love your wife, how to treat her. Things like that are things that we mostly talk about when we're preparing people for marriage, like how to deal with your in-laws, how to embrace motherhood, how to help your wife while she just gave birth. Those are things godparents discuss. They are more than that. Those are just basic things. So having an agenda every time we prepare some meetings with people that we are mentoring, it's very important. It's their responsibilities. You're not just going to keep calling them on the phone, just talking for not like things that don't contribute to your marriage or your relationship. You must make sure that when you are talking on the phone, when you hang up that call, you're like, I've learned something. Wow, they really blessed me today. So you're not just going to pick anybody who's not knowledgeable. They must be knowledgeable so they can also invest that knowledge in you. So make sure that when you are hanging out with them, they have an agenda. What are we going to talk about today? What are we discussing today? And if you have something you want to talk about, you want to discuss, or it's confusing to you, bring it up to them. Tell them that I really have a hard time understanding this. How does this work in marriage? Would you please explain it to me? A godparent or a godmother or godfather who is really equipped, knowledgeable, they will tell you, give us time, we'll get back to you. Let us go and prepare something. It's not because you ask them for a question that they're going to have to answer you right away and give you the answer. If someone tells you, I'll get back to you, that means they have to take time and make sure to come back with the right answer. And just because they're your godparent doesn't mean they have the answer to everything. You got to understand that. They may be knowledgeable, but not in every area. You give them time to go and think about it or research about it, and then they'll come back to you. Be patient. So when you have an issue, they will probably come and pray for you, but then they'll tell you, we'll get back to you with, some good answers or resolutions. So be patient in that area. Another responsibility of godparents is to know your family, especially your parents, because these people are becoming like your second parents. They cannot be your parents and not know your parent, those who birthed you. I remember during our wedding, our godparents really had a conversation with my mom. And loved my godparents. They're really a blessing because they stepped up, while she was stuck and then she was too busy with other stuff. So she really loved their help. And then my husband also as well, the godparents spoke to his family. They spoke with their dad. They had a good time on the phone. So it makes parents feel safe that my children are in good hands. My children can be well counseled. They can get good advice from these people. So you got to make sure that when you are with them, wait and see if they're going to ask you about your parent or they're going to want to get to know them. A good godparent will definitely want to find out who are your parents, how you were raised. It gives them an idea of who they're trying to mentor. Those people are just dragging you like that, that's a red flag. So you gotta be very careful. It's also their responsibility to know where you live, where you stay, especially when you're engaged as a young woman, as a young man. They need to know where you stay in case they cannot meet up with you together. They can come to your house, pray with you, for you, and counsel you. So they must be interested in you. Godparents need to show interest in us. So that's how you know they care about you and your marriage. Some of them will show you interest while they're mentoring you, but then when you go into marriage, they leave you. So you gotta make sure you're really associating yourself with people who really care about you. You will know how someone care about you the way they show up for you. So those are things you should really pay attention that this mom really care about me. This papa, this really care about me. So that's very important. It's their responsibility to know where you stay, and it's also your responsibility to know where they stay. In case there's something you want to go to their house, you can go. When something goes wrong in your house, you don't go back to your parents' house. Your room is no more there. You go to your godparents. You go to your godparents. So please make sure you know where they stay and they know where you stay. It's really good in case of anything, you know where to go. The biggest one, your godparents' responsibility, it is not to give you money. Many weddings in Africa or in Congo are based around money when they see godparents. When I post the first video, there was a lady who reached out to me. She said, Mama, please talk about this because I had a couple who used me and my husband. They asked us for money. We purchased things for them in their wedding. After the marriage, they even changed numbers. They don't even talk to us anymore. They disappeared. So because they knew we had money, they just came to us. They wanted us to be their godparent. They said we really liked your couple, things like that. You know how flattering people can be. And after the wedding, they disappeared. And she regretted that because they just used them. Let me tell you, godparents are not obliged to give you money for your wedding. They can give you if they with a good heart. If they feel compelled to do it, like okay, they're getting married, they need support. But do not get your hopes up and expect them to give you money, or they must give me money because they are my godparent. It is not their responsibilities. That is your wedding, your marriage. You plan for it, you save for it, and they're just there to accompany you. They're not there to sponsor you financially. So do not go and find a couple who's probably not equipped or knowledgeable, not spiritual, they don't like the things of God, but you love them because they have money. Oh, they're gonna pay for the venue. No, they're not gonna do that. And even if they don't give you money for your wedding, don't hold grudges against them. They are not obliged to, but they can if they're feeling, generous to give you. Because amongst the responsibility of being a godparent, money is not included. So please do not hold grudges against them and do not use them because they have money to be your godparents. No, find godparents because of their knowledge, their ability to care for you and support you and pray for you, with you, all those kind of, and to teach you. But don't go after them for money. It is the wrong motive of finding godparents. So please get that out of your mind. If they support you financially or not, it's okay. It's your wedding. You've already saved up for it. You've already prepared it. Move on with it. And do not count on godparent or rely on them 100% to give you money or to sponsor you financially for you to make a grand wedding that you and your wife want. So it is your responsibility. It's not the godparent's responsibility to sponsor you financially, because they believe, because during the process of wedding planning or preparation, we usually talk about finance with the couples, like how much you have for your wedding, what are you planning, what are you going to do. We talk about the budget. So you're not going to think that, okay, the godparent will take this and it will cover this. No, you do not count on them like that. They will give you guys money if they feel generous, if they really feel like we need to help them. But do not cross your arms and say they will help us because they are godparents. No, godparents are there to mentor you, to guide you, not to sponsor you with money. Please get that out of your mind. If they don't give you, it's okay. Move on from it. Take them for who they are and let them guide you with your marriage, not just your wedding ceremony. Please. And lastly, on the wedding day, your godparent responsibility is to monitor everything, to just check and make sure everything is going well. Your godparents are not your wedding planners. People, I mean, I have wedding planning abilities, I have event planning capacities. So if I'm a godmother, obviously I tend to do both. I want to make sure everything's running well. Just don't want to play dual things in the wedding where I'm the godmother and I'm the event planner. It's gonna be kind of too much. So if your godmother does not plan anything for you, it's not her fault. That's not her responsibility. Learn how to get wedding planners. Wedding planners are there to plan your wedding. Your godmother is not there to plan your wedding. She's just there to make sure things are going well, to oversee on the wedding day, to be there for you. Her role is to be beside you, with you everywhere you go. It's not there to run the event, make sure guests are there, food is there. That's not her role. So if your godmother is not that involved in your wedding day, do not get upset because it's not her duty. That is a wedding planner thing. So let's get used to hiring wedding planners for our wedding so they can start planning, so we don't get mad at our godmothers when they don't do those things, or godfathers. Please get yourself a wedding planner. You want your wedding to go perfectly well, hire a wedding planner. I am a wedding planner. If you need me, you can hire me. That's the publicity I'm doing for myself as well. But please do not put that on your godmother. That's not her job. It's not her role. She is there to be by your side, not by the guest side or the whole party side. Please get a wedding planner so your wedding can go smoothly. Your grandmother is there to support you emotionally. Make sure you are not upset, your phone is switched off. That's her job. But the wedding planning, event planning, making sure everything is well, it's not her job. It's the wedding planner. But she will definitely check and make sure everything is fine. I'm not saying that the godmother will not help you oversee what's going well. The godmother will be in touch with the wedding planner, so they make sure that things are going well for you and everything is all set. But it is not her responsibility that you should be upset if she's not that involved. I've been in a wedding where the godmother was not really that involved. I felt bad for the bride because, I mean, she was not calling her, checking on her if everything is all set. That's also wrong. As a godmother, I'm supposed to make sure my bride is not stressed. I'm supposed to make sure that she is well and everything is also taken care of. The best woman, I'm also going to talk about all those details later on, the responsibility of people in the wedding day. The maid of honor's duty is also to be there for the bride, but then she also works together with the godmother so the wedding goes well and the bride is not stressed out. The wedding planner will work closely with the godmother so that everything, is communicated to them and we know how the event is running. But it is not your godmother's responsibility to plan your wedding. Get a wedding planner. I've had, a girl who got married and she was telling me that my godmother was not involved. She was not calling me. She was not checking on me. I was running errands all by myself. I was just up and down by my own. Deep down, I could say that the godmother was not obliged to, but she was supposed to at least check on her, make sure she's fine, make sure she gets her the help she needed. If you want to be someone's maid of honor, just know that it comes with responsibility. You're gonna be there. You have to be there by her side when she's running errands. She was not even supposed to run errand on her wedding day. You're supposed to be there by her side. So you got to make sure that you don't mix up responsibilities of your godmother, your maid of honor, and your wedding planner. Everybody have to know their role and know where they stand. Your godmother will be there for you throughout the wedding day, the wedding preparation, the marriage, what your maid of honor will be with you on the day of the wedding. Before there, if you're running errand, and the wedding planner, she's running everything, making sure everything goes well. So let's know where we're standing so that we don't really clash and feel some type of way when people don't do certain things. All right, guys, that's it for today. That was the responsibilities of the godparent. There's plenty of them, but I thought I could share with you the most important one for you guys to know who you are associating yourself with. So stay tuned for part 3, where I'm going to talk about the qualities to look for in godparents. And then down the line, we're going to talk about the reason why, or I entitled that series Before You Say I Do. That's a really important series, especially for those of you guys who are looking into marriage. Before you say I do, there are things you gotta know. There are things you gotta understand. So after this series, I'm gonna go to Before I Say I Do, but I'm gonna go back to the English lessons before I go to the Before I Say I Do. It's gonna be a very great, series. I'm really preparing content on it, and it's gonna be amazing. So share the video, watch until the end. I thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and share the video. Let me know in the comment section what do you want me to do next, and God bless you.